Malthusian Time and the Fantasy of Going Back. Every civilization develops myths about the past. Some imagine a lost golden age of kings and heroes. Others imagine a time of perfect equality, perfect community, perfect faith, or perfect simplicity. The details vary, but the structure remains remarkably consistent. When the present becomes confusing, human beings instinctively search backward for clarity. This tendency becomes especially powerful under conditions of Malthusian time. The modern individual feels overwhelmed. His attention is fragmented. His life is saturated with information. He feels perpetually behind, perpetually distracted, perpetually exhausted. He experiences ambient guilt without understanding its source. He struggles to rest, struggles to focus, struggles to arrive. Naturally, he begins looking for an escape route, and sooner or later he encounters a seductive idea. Perhaps the problem is modernity itself. Perhaps life was better before smartphones. Perhaps life was better before the internet. Perhaps life was better before capitalism. Perhaps life was better before industrialization. Perhaps life was better before cities. Perhaps life was better before globalization. The fantasy appears in many forms, but the underlying dream remains the same. If only we could go back. The attraction is understandable. The past appears simpler because we observe it selectively. Distance acts as a filter. The mind remembers the village but forgets the famine. It remembers community but forgets conformity. It remembers tradition but forgets illiteracy. It remembers stability but forgets stagnation. This selective memory creates an illusion. The illusion is that previous generations enjoyed lives free from the pressures currently afflicting us, yet Malthusian time suggests something different. The specific pressures have changed, the underlying scarcity has not. The medieval farmer did not suffer from doom scrolling, he suffered from crop failure. The 19th century laborer did not suffer from notification overload, he suffered from 14-hour shifts and industrial accidents. The Roman citizen did not suffer from algorithmic distraction, he suffered from political instability, disease, and limited mobility. Every age possesses its burdens. The mistake lies in imagining that the burdens of the past were somehow more compatible with human flourishing simply because they appear less technologically complex. In reality, many forms of modern abundance solve problems that previous civilizations could barely imagine overcoming. A modern citizen can communicate instantly across continents. He can access entire libraries from his pocket. He can survive diseases that once killed kings. He can travel thousands of miles within hours. He can learn skills that previous generations required decades and privileged access to acquire. These developments matter. Indeed, they matter so profoundly that many critics of modernity unknowingly rely upon them while condemning them. The man posting online about the evils of technology is using technology. The critic of global capitalism often distributes his ideas through infrastructure created by global capitalism. The romantic advocate of simpler living frequently depends on modern medicine, transportation, communications, and energy systems to sustain the very life from which he denounces progress. This contradiction reveals something important. The desire to go back is often less about the past than about escaping the demands of the present. And this is where Malthusian time provides a useful corrective. The theory does not suggest that technology created the human condition. Technology simply amplified it. The smartphone did not invent distraction, it expanded access to distraction. The internet did not invent comparison, it expanded visibility. Social media did not invent vanity, it industrialized vanity. The machine magnifies tendencies already present within human nature. This distinction matters because it changes the solution entirely. If technology were the root problem, then removing technology would solve the problem, yet history offers little reason to believe this. Human beings managed to be vain before Instagram, they managed to waste time before smartphones, they managed to become addicted before social media, they managed to pursue status before capitalism, they managed to compare themselves against neighbors before global connectivity. The forms changed, the impulses remained. This is one reason anti-modern nostalgia frequently disappoints when put into practice. Many people imagine that moving to the countryside, deleting social media, abandoning cities, or rejecting technology entirely will eliminate inner turmoil. Sometimes these changes help, often they do not, because the individual eventually discovers that he has brought the primary source of the problem with him, himself. The temptation toward distraction existed before the smartphone. The temptation toward comparison existed before the internet. The temptation toward comfort existed before industrialization. The temptation toward avoidance existed before streaming platforms. Human nature remains remarkably portable. One may leave the city and carry anxiety into the countryside. One may delete social media and discover new forms of comparison. One may abandon modern entertainment and simply find alternative distractions. The location changes, the underlying condition remains. This does not mean modern technology is neutral or harmless, far from it. Technology can absolutely intensify destructive tendencies. It can accelerate addiction, amplify tribalism, reward outrage, and fragment attention, but amplification differs from creation. The distinction is critical. Malthusian Time therefore rejects both technological utopianism and technological nostalgia. The utopian imagines technology will solve every human problem. The nostalgic imagines technology created every human problem. Both misunderstand the nature of the challenge. The deeper issue concerns finite consciousness navigating expanding possibilities, and that condition would remain even if every smartphone vanished tomorrow, because the true battlefield lies not merely in devices, markets, or institutions. It lies within the relationship between attention and value. The individual must still answer the same questions. What deserves my attention? What deserves my time? What deserves my life? No technical arrangement can answer these questions automatically. No political system can answer them automatically. No return to the past can answer them automatically. This is why the fantasy of going back ultimately fails. It mistakes a spiritual challenge for a technological one. The goal is not to return to a world before modernity. The goal is to become capable of living wisely within modernity, because history moves in one direction. And the future will not be asking whether we can go back. It will be asking whether we can govern ourselves amidst abundance.